Now, you may remember the iconic celebration dance every time there was a goal or a victory for his team. That iconic celebration of an aeroplane or mimicking an aeroplane. Now, the football fraternity will say its final goodbyes to one of its most celebrated sons. Clive The Dog Barker died last week following a long battle with illness. He led South Africa to its only African Cup of Nations crown in 1996. He's been granted a special official provincial funeral in Durban. Joining us now is eNCA Sports Editor Vata Ngobeni. Good morning to you and thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it is a very somber mood as we bid farewell to South Africa's finest.
Good morning, Cindy. Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, it is a very, very somber mood in Durban. But at the same time, there were scenes of excitement similar to seeing Clive Barker flying, taking off at FNB Stadium. We saw last night at Harry Gora Stadium in Pietermaritzburg. One of his favourite sons, Sean Bartlett, taking Cape Town Spurs, from the Motsepe Championship all the way into the DStv Premiership. I think he did take off in Clive Barker style, but he's landed safely in Durban. We're with him now here in Mhlanga. Sean, first of all, well done. Congrats on the promotion. Just sum up your feelings in taking what is your home team, your home club, one you ascended with in the past into the Premiership and doing it now as a coach?
Yeah, thanks for the congratulations. For me, it was very emotional coming back. I've said it so many times. The club I started my professional career with, so I knew exactly as to what I wanted to do with this club and where I wanted to take it, and with the support and help of everybody at the club, it was possible. And like you've indicated yesterday, it was quite emotional. The last couple of weeks have been emotional, obviously also with the passing of Clive Barker. So for me, there's two people that I have to think about. One was our former kitman, John Hendricks, and Clive Barker, and I would honestly just dedicated to them as well as an achievement of my own for being part of my journey.
Talking about that, within your management team, you've got Calvin Marlin, you've got Nassif Morris, former internationals, Bafana players as well. How crucial has their experience been as first of all former players to now becoming management in taking the team to where it is now?
Everybody has been integral for our success. They've been massive. I can't discount, obviously, Calvin and Nassif's contribution. On a weekly, daily basis, they were always there supporting, advising, and making sure that obviously we make the right decision most of the time. Not always going to make the right decision, but they were there supporting all the time. And I think, it's something that they've been working for also for the last 2 years. And again, it's not even 2 years. I've only been with the club for 20 months. So for me, it's an unbelievable achievement, even better than the first one, to be honest. And you could not have written it better. For me to come back with Cape Town Spurs, to come back to the province where I won my first promotion, it's obviously it's another achievement that I'm really grateful for, but also more importantly appreciate.
How much of what Clive Barker did in his days when you were with him have you taken and taken on board as a coach and actually used?
Well, obviously last night it was about getting the promotion, but if you see the reaction of the players and generally also around the squad, the one thing that I took from Clive is to enjoy every moment, enjoy every day, because this is something that can be taken away from you very, very easily. I always say to the players, give your best, and God will do the rest. And so far, everything has been working according to plan. He was a man that lived life to the fullest, but also he was quite serious about getting results. And hence, we won 1996. Everybody talks about the man that he was now, but he was unbelievable for us as a father figure, a motivator, and obviously a great coach for us to win that tournament.
How big a loss is it for not just for, I think people talk about the province and Durban itself, but how big a loss is it for South African football that the only man who's been able to lead the national team to continental glory is now no more?
Yeah, it's a massive loss, and I always feel that we start appreciating people more when they've gone, and I think that's something obviously that needs to change. He was a living legend of the game, a great icon. And as far as his achievement is concerned, it's going to probably be a while still before someone is going to achieve that. So hopefully, obviously, you will get the recognition now as to what he achieved. But I think as a person, everybody that was close to him knew exactly what he was about what he stood for and who he was. And I think that for me, to have that personal relationship with him was one of the best moments of my life.
Is it not a sad indictment, Sean, that we sit here, we still talk about 1996, and we've had so many foreign coaches coming in and coach the national side, and there are coaches like yourself now who are doing wonderful things in domestic football, and probably not been given the opportunities the likes of Peter Musima, and I can go on. Is it not a sad indictment on South African football that we find ourselves where we are?
Well, it's something obviously we take a leaf out of our neighbours' books. If you look at around the country, especially even the last World Cup, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think all 5 teams went to the World Cup with homegrown coaches. So that's something that we have to consider in the near future. But along with saying that, we also need to make sure that we equip ourselves as coaches in order to qualify ourselves to be in those positions. So again, I'm hoping obviously that SAFA and the people in charge will recognize that come soon. But I think for me, there's enough coaches that's well equipped to actually go and do the job as well, as far as the national team is concerned.
Thank you very much, Sean. That is Sean Bartlett, Cape Town Spurs coach and former Bafana striker who did play under Clive Barker. I have with me now Ari, who's the Cape Town Spurs chairman. Ari, it's been a long slog. You find it back in the Premiership.
It's been a long 5 years, but this club is an amazing club. I always say it's not a team, it's a club. I mean, we've persevered for the last 5 years, never wavered in our quest of what we wanted to do. Our aim was to promote the youth of the country, wear the light for all the youth in Cape Town. During the 5 years that we've been in the NFD, we've probably run an academy that is stronger than any PSL club. And we've won basically the league or one promotion using homegrown talent, homegrown coaches and technical team and homegrown players. And it's an amazing feat for the club. It's been a tough 5 years.
It must be special, though. You speak about the homegrown coaches. Someone like Sean, who played for the club, took it into the old NSL to now come back as a coach and take them back to the Premiership. It must be very, very special.
It's extremely special for us. I mean, you know, when we spoke to Sean and we approached him and we said, Sean, you've got the emotion for this club. You have a feeling for this club. We believe in what you can do with the rest of the guys. And we gave him everything he needed, and he's proven his worth. And we'll take him on through to the PSL now and see how he can take us through to the PSL.
You talk about that homegrown talent. We've lost one of our own in a guy like Clive Barker. For someone like yourself, a club owner who believes in homegrown talent, how big a loss is this to South African football?
It's huge, you know, and unfortunately, probably went too quick. Clive was an amazing person. His contribution to South African soccer has been unparalleled. Even after the triumph of '96, he continued with football and advising and helping. And he was always there to advise whenever anybody needed him. So it's a huge loss to South African soccer.
And just lastly, your word to SAFA, to the other clubs, on ensuring that the legacy of Clive Barker lives on in terms of investing in our own coaches and ensuring that you give them the same opportunity you've given a guy like Sean.
There's no choice. I think we've got to focus, and SAFA's got to make sure that we try and grow our own. And that's and starting, you know, it's fine saying put the elders like Sean to do what they need to do, but we need to, as clubs and as South African football, is promote the youngsters. And that's where South African soccer is going to improve from that stage. It's not going to improve by picking teams and trying to win things on a short-term arrangement. You know, we can't do things on a one-year basis. We've got to have a long-term plan.
Thank you very much, Ari, and enjoy your time. Go back to Cape Town safely, and we'll see you in the PSL next season.
We certainly will. Thank you very much.
And that was Ari, who's the chairman of Cape Town Spurs. Again, speaking about their promotion into the DStv Premiership, but again, remembering the legend himself, Clive Barker, and his contribution to South African football. And again, the call keeps on coming out that we need to invest in our own local coaches. We need to invest in the talent that's within the country, because Clive Barker is the only coach that has taken Bafana to continental glory. And he was a South African, and not just a South African legend, but I think just a legend of the game itself.
And Vata, many others saying that he was also an inspiration. He was a leader that could unearth the talent and potential, even if players were not as confident, with themselves, starting out in particular. He's a father figure, which are all these soft skills that are required in shaping and nurturing talent. And if we can cultivate that locally and have the confidence in our own capacity, then, we might as well, we could be reaching for the stars in terms of continental glory and abroad.
No, we heard that, Cindy. Again, Sean Bartlett really echoed that sentiment, because he said he's used all the learnings from Clive Barker in his days with the national team, with his team in Cape Town Spurs, is that more than just being a coach, you've got to be a father to the players. You've got to be a source of motivation and inspiration to them. It can't have come from a better person than Sean Bartlett, with the heights he achieved with the national team, and also in his own career. Having played in Europe, played in England as well in the Premiership. To bring that back here home and impart that knowledge onto the youngsters. Again, speaks loudly of the contribution of Clive Barker to South African football, because that's what he did for his players. And now we've seen his players, the likes of Neil Tovey. We're seeing now with the likes of Sean Bartlett, and they're doing it now. With the players, with the clubs, with where they coach. So again, I think the legacy of Clive Barker will live on for a very, very long time, beyond 1996, and beyond his own passing now, as we lay him to rest today.
Thank you so much, Vata. That is eNCA Sports Editor Vata Ngobeni out in Durban, as Clive Barker will be laid to rest today, his final resting place, and we'll give you live visuals as the proceedings continue there.